Assalamu alaikum. Today the topic is about taxation. Taxation in Pakistan. Every state has different tax laws and we are dealing in this course about the taxation of Pakistan. First of all, we have to see what is the definition of tax and why the states require taxation system. Taxation is the process by which the sovereign means state, the government, the country, through its law-making body raises revenues in order to use it for expenses of the government. Governments collect taxes to run the affairs of the government, to actively manage the government affairs. And again, this is a law. Tax is a law, and for anything to be law, it needs to be passed by some legislative assembly or the legislation, upper house or lower house. So that is why whenever the budget is passed in every year in Pakistan, it needs to be passed by the National Assembly, that is the Federal Assembly, and secondly the Senate, both houses, lower house and upper house. When they passed it with the required majority, then it becomes a law, and then it is implemented on the citizens who are in living in the Pakistan. And again, tax is applied on individuals and also on organizations. And we have different kinds of taxes: income tax, sales tax, excise duty, different excise and taxation. So we will study those types of taxes in the next lectures. And there are some objectives that are other than the revenue that can be implementation of different policies or even the fair distribution of the wealth. So government collects taxes from the rich people and distribute it among the poor. As we can see that there is a program in Pakistan that is called BISP, Benazir Income Support Program. By that program, some poor people get the monthly stipend of or the quarterly stipend from the government. So that is the distribution of, we can say, resources, or the, you can say, for the financial support for the lower strata income of the country. Sometimes there are some tax exemptions. For example, sometimes government want to introduce or want to motivate IT industry, software industry, so they give some tax exemptions to software exports, and especially to some exports there is no sales tax on exports in Pakistan. So the purpose is to increase exports of a country so that we can have a good trade balance and current account balance. Remember, there are some issues of current account deficit. It means how many dollars, that dollar is an international currency, and we are dealing with dollars when we are importing something or exporting something. When we are importing something, we get the dollar, we need to pay the dollars, and when we are exporting something, we get the dollars. So dollars, incoming and outgoing dollars should be equal, or we can say incoming should be more than the outgoing dollars. Then we have a surplus. अगर dollars ज़्यादा आ रहे हैं और कम बाहर जा रहे हैं तो surplus है. If we are having more imports, we need to pay more dollars, so we are having a deficit. So to control this deficit, generally Pakistani government allow tax exemptions for exports ताकि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा डॉलर पाकिस्तान के अंदर आ सके. Sometimes government has a policy to incentivize growth in special economic zones. SEZ means special economic zones. Sometimes like Gwadar and sometimes states in near Faisalabad or near some areas where government need to establish that special economic zones. So government may allow tax exemptions or tax breaks for large number of years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Sometimes government has a policy to import taxation on something, to import protect local industry, कि हमारी जो local industry है उसको बचाने के लिए, उसको protection के लिए sometimes government import taxes on imports. Especially you can see that Pakistan में जो Japanese car import होती हैं उस पे एक tax है, that is a significant tax. और उसकी main one of the main reasons was that it is to protect the local industry. जो local manufacturing companies, factories पाकिस्तान में हैं, Toyota, Honda, Suzuki की, उनकी protection के लिए government has been levying different taxes on imports of built cars. विद इन पाकिस्तान कि जितनी भी गाड़ी इंपोर्ट होती है उस पर हैवी टैक्स रहा है ताकि पाकिस्तान में जो फैक्ट्री हैं वो चल सके। इस तरह से गवर्नमेंट के डिफरेंट ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हो सकते हैं रेवेन्यू के अलावा भी। वन इज रेवेन्यू, इसके अलावा भी डिफरेंट प्रायोरिटीज हो सकती हैं। Sometimes to protect the lower income people and to counter the inflation or recession. For example, government may exempt tax on the necessary items like food items. तो इसका मतलब यही होगा कि रिसेशन को कंट्रोल किया जाए और जो गरीब आदमियों के लिए चीजें चाहिए उसके ऊपर टैक्स कम से कम लगाया जाए। Purpose would be to counter inflation or something like that. Then there are different philosophies about taxation: proportional tax, regressive, and progressive. Proportional tax means okay, there is only one single tax rate, as we can see in the zakat, that is 2.5%. 2.5% is the fixed rate on whatever the wealth you have. So this is the proportional tax. There is no regressive, no progressive. Regressive means that as the income is increasing, tax rate will be decreasing, the opposite direction. Income is increasing, tax rate is going down. This means regressive. लेकिन दुनिया में most of the countries or economists follow or advocate the progressive taxation system. What is progressive taxation system? Progressive taxation system is as the income is increasing, tax rate is also increasing. Remember, यहाँ पे हम जो बात कर रहे हैं, this is the tax rate, not the tax amount. टैक्स अमाउंट तो ऑटोमेटिकली इंक्रीज करेगी जैसे इनकम बढ़ेगी, बट हियर द टैक्स रेट, फॉर एग्जांपल इफ on an income of 2 million the tax rate is 10%, and on the 3 million it may be 15%. The rate of tax will be increased on the increased income. So this is the progressive taxation, and many economists in this modern world and the many developed countries, or they follow this progressive taxation system. We have different terms: tax avoidance and tax evasion. Remember that there is a difference between these two terms. Tax avoidance, that is legal, that is within law. Like you are playing with some laws and you are taking benefit of some loopholes in the taxation system. So that is called tax avoidance. Like you are changing the business structure, or you are having some safe tax havens. Say you have listen to the concept or the news of the Panama canal, so sorry, Panama asset or offshore asset places. So there are different places in the world which allow investments something like without any taxation. So that is legal. If somebody has investment in Panama Islands or something like that, so that is legal. So taking the advantage of tax loopholes or managing or manipulating the laws, so that is called tax avoidance, and that is generally considered legal. But tax evasion is illegal. It means you are evading taxes by underreporting your income, by underreporting your profits, or you are overstating your expenses. कि खर्चे ज़्यादा बता रहे हैं और कह रहे हैं कि कम इनकम है या लॉस हो रहा है ताकि आपको टैक्स ना पे करना पड़े. So remember, tax avoidance is legal and tax evasion is illegal. And then the very important topic, direct and indirect taxes. This is the start of the course and we are just trying to familiarize you with different concepts of taxes, direct taxes and indirect taxes. So generally I ask, okay, what type of taxation should be in a country? The majority of the taxation should be direct taxes or indirect taxes. Many economists or even some good students, they say, okay, sir, in states taxation system there should be more direct taxes that are levied generally on income. तो डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस का प्रोपोर्शन ज्यादा होना चाहिए किसी भी टैक्सेशन सिस्टम में, किसी भी कंट्री में. बट here in Pakistan we have a significant amount of indirect taxes also, because some people are of the UK. It is easy for the government or for the department to collect indirect taxes. For example, we are paying a huge amount of tax on the petrol, levy on petrol, or different like sales tax, that is 18%. So these are indirect taxes and this is easy for the department maybe to collect indirect taxes. Direct taxes means generally on the net income of a taxpayer. Examples इसकी हैं salary, income from salary पे जो tax लगेगा, income from property, income from business, capital gains, income from other source. We will go into the details of these different types of income in later lectures. Similarly, capital value tax, which is the transfer of immovable property. If you are buying, selling some house, constructed house, so even plots, so उस पे जो tax लगे that would is called capital value tax in Pakistan. These are all direct taxes. These are related with the income of an individual. Indirect taxes. Indirect taxes, and one of the indirect taxes is custom duty, that is import and export duties, sometimes on luxury items, on some you can say expensive cars, expensive jewelry, perfumes, cosmetics, etc. So such duties at the port or when something is importing or exporting, so this is called custom duty, and this is one of the indirect taxes. Other tax which has a name of federal excise duty, is generally in layman daily use language we say FED. FED, federal excise duty. Exports पे zero है, otherwise we have FED on different items. This is also one of the indirect taxes. Secondly, sales tax, a very high amount, 18% is very high against the global average in the world. So 18% GST sales tax on services. This is remember the goods पे जो sales tax that is the federal subject, and the sales tax on services, this is a provincial subject in Pakistan. So in Punjab, government charge 16% on services. Government of Pakistan charge 18% on the sales of goods. Similarly, on goods imported and manufactured, we have a sales tax of 18%. So these are all indirect taxes. They are not relevant to the income of a person. Whether somebody is rich, poor, middle income, he has to pay custom duty, FED, sales tax, irrespective of its income. So this is an indirect tax. So these are some of the types of taxes, and we will go into details of these kinds of taxes in the coming lectures. Here we want to just familiarize you with some concepts of taxes. This is the, you can say, the introductory part of taxation system of Pakistan. So this is for this lecture. Thank you.